Hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Fallout 4, Alien Blast Only. The commentary to this episode was recorded after completing episode 20. Like after recording the audio and doing the gameplay and all that. So yeah, I've actually... This is quite a bit out of sequence, but what's going on here is that we're going to be going to Good Neighbor to save, and then we'll be going to Vault 114 in order to rescue Nick Valentine. Now, as I go through and do this, the main thing to talk about now is that this mission does actually require killing a few enemies. So, for one, yeah. For one, you have to kill Dino in order for Valentine to actually talk to you. But also the other enemies that follow you between the Park Street Station interior and the Vault 114 interior, those guys have to be killed as well, otherwise Valentine also won't talk to you. But, you know, even before seeing this, I can already think of ways in which I could have done that a lot more efficiently. And that was a strat that I hadn't figured out until Underground Undercover. Right, Oh, I get what I'm doing here. Yeah, so before rescuing Nick, we actually get the chems from this section.
Wave their guns around. You should be able to work your way around these buildings to get a good angle on them. I'll wait for
yeah, so
start, then join
you know,
from here.
the same thoughts apply here.
To let anybody get away.
Sounds good.
Yep. So first thing is that I actually walk in first because I'm a tank, and if Henry Cook walks in by himself, that won't help anything because he'll just get killed immediately. Yeah, so basically the general strat to make the most out of this gun is basically to use VATS all the time. Anytime I have 95%, right? You know, 95% probability of hitting, I should like do the shot. But like you'll notice there that okay, that went pretty well, but I missed 2 bullets. I didn't actually bother fixing that, like, you know, saving the 2 bullets by reloading and stuff, but
You don't have to kill me.
yeah.
Oh, talk. Indeed.
Yeah, so
Give me a reason not to kill you.
I don't need a better reason than to shut
so yeah,
her up.
I miss one shot
You can trust me.
attacking the what's his name? The guy that was buying all the drugs.
Sorry. No witnesses.
That's that. I told you it was no problem. The money should still
Yeah,
be in
so
Nelson's body. And then there's these chems, which you'll need to sell. But that's your problem.
yeah, so yeah, I missed one shooting Nelson,
Should make things
and
easier for
I
all.
accidentally shot the other lady's corpse.
No plausible way I could explain to Morowski
Yeah,
how
Trish.
I wasn't involved
I accidentally
in
shot her
this
corpse.
unless I die along with everyone else.
But yeah, so for one thing, if I had used VATS there, I could have been more efficient with my bullets. I could have known that
So much fun together.
I think
it would be a one-hit kill. And I could have also built up critical stuff for the for Park Street Station. And so, you know, with this gun, anytime like anytime you're up against multiple enemies, primarily this place, Vault 114, and killing the Brotherhood of Steel in the railroad rescue thingy. Those are places where you want to be using VATS as much as possible. That way you build up your critical meter, and thus you can pop off criticals as much as you can, allowing you to get what is essentially a damage bonus. Especially because you can crit an enemy's head, because a crit is a guaranteed hit. And so that means that you get the critical bonus and the headshot bonus in the same attack. And so that's like extra damage. But yeah, had I used VATS on those guys and VATS the guys in Vault 114, I could have saved a few bullets through using crits. It also occurs to me that I could also, if I really, really wanted to get as much if I wanted to get as much. Oh yeah, and here I speed up the footage by quite a bit. If I wanted to get as much damage out of the gun as possible, not only would I want to go into science for the upgrades and into gunslinger for raw damage output, I'd also want to and here I just take I make a lot of buff tats and Psychojet. It basically reduces my the amount of weight I'm carrying by quite a bit, and gives me 1 or 2 levels. Yeah, 1 level. But yeah, the luck perks would also help with giving me a lot of damage output with the Alien Blaster, right? Because through better criticals, I can have more critical damage, which is good. Through Critical Banker, I could save criticals for Kellogg and the Corsa. For and also with 4-leaf clover, I could get even more criticals. Whereas a perk like Grim Reaper Sprint wouldn't actually help as much, because I could replace that with just being patient. Especially because I can tank most hits anyway. But the thing is that I don't know. Like, the main perks that I take for this character is science for weapon upgrades and for power arm upgrades. I take Idiot's Advance for experience gain. I take Scrounger, to get extra caps. I take Armorer so that I can get, so that I can have better armor. And Lone Wanderer, which gives me more carry capacity and less damage taken. And I also take 3 points into Sneak, which isn't that necessary, but if I wanted to, I could have shuffled things around so that, so that I'm purely taking points into stuff that...
You alright, sister?
Oh yeah, this is a thing that happened as well. So, you know how when you first visit Goodneighbor, and there's a scene where Finn here, the guy in the leather stuff, how he gets killed by Hancock? He forgot to die.
Take it all in.
Yeah, that happened.
Looks like my dad
You killed him.
got a good pair of eyes on you. I think you'll fit in here.
Yes.
Neighbors of the people.
He
for the
totally
people.
killed
You
him.
feel me? Everyone's welcome.
Of the people.
So
Yeah.
long as you
But yeah, so while Lone Wanderer would have helped with like having extra like extra carry capacity and extra damage reduction, the perk, which perk? I mean, I think every perk, in a roundabout way, helps me to either take less damage or do more damage with the gun. Aside from Sneak, which, yeah, I could have not had Sneak. Yeah, I could have not had Sneak. That would have given me 3 points that I could put into something else. So, for example, I could put my luck up by another point and take 1 or 2 rounds of... Oh yeah, and here I managed to weird out the game a bit. Turns out by going into third person and then first person again, I can move around again like that. But yeah, it all works fine. And I think that the game also weirds out, doesn't like considers the fusion core being in the armor but not being in the armor. But yeah, so anyway, like if I had 2 points in yeah, like with 2 points into better crits rather than having like Sneak, for example. With that, I'd be able to do a lot more damage, and thus use less bullets, and thus I'd have more leeway in stuff I could do. As another thing, I actually... There's actually... I guess I may as well talk about it now, but you'll hear past me talk about this when I do it, but when I go and kill the Corsa, technically, if I were to kill the 7 enemies in the Museum of Freedom, rescue Mama Murphy, and then and then get the code off of her with the jet, and just deactivate the Corsa straight away, that would have used less bullets than just killing the Corsa straight up. Maybe with better crits I'd be able to do more damage with less bullets and possibly avoid him stimpacking or something like that, but oh well. What's done is done. Hopefully... like... This is something I say quite a bit, but hopefully I can make it through the entire game without needing to go all the way up to level 41 to switch over the gun to fusion cells. Oh yeah, and here I again go for a Psycho Jet. And here the Triggermen, they take like 1 to 3 shots to kill. I think there they use 2. And there I think for some reason at that point a couple shots just vanish out of thin air. And I think what might be going on is that because of how the game is calculating the bullet trajectory, maybe the bullets are just phasing through the enemies, but regardless, you using VATS should have guaranteed a lot more hit accuracy than what went on there.
How you doing?
And I think here, yeah, I don't quite have enough for crits, but with better critical meter management, I definitely would have been able to crit Dino here. But I do have 95% on the head, and I get... Okay, I get a 1 shot on the head anyway. That's good. Maybe if I had done that with the other guys, I could have gotten even more damage from the criticals. But here, the major strat that you'd use to save bullets is just to have Valentine like shoot all the enemies for you. Thing is though, I actually do help out Valentine a bit. Like I do shoot some of the enemies for him. And so, you know, while that might end up being a waste of bullets compared to just being super patient, it also occurs to me that if I can get through the entire game, you know, without needing to go all the way up to level 41 or 37 or whatever I need to have unlimited ammo. If I can do that while having some wastage, like missing shots, shooting enemies that I don't necessarily have to shoot, that sort of stuff. If I can do that, then I demonstrate that an Alien Blast only run is actually fairly feasible, and like not just not just feasible in that you can do it, but you can barely do it. If that makes any sense. Like, it could be the case, hypothetically, that that in order to complete the game using only the 350 or so bullets that you get with the gun, yeah, so if it was the case that I could only get through the game with the starting bullets, if I were to use the absolute bare minimum, like, you know, getting all headshots, reloading if any shot misses, having perks so that I do as much damage as possible rather than having defense from Lone Wanderer, Armorer, and Science. Well, not so much Science, because that is a part of the weapon mods thing, but like, if that number of bullets was the absolute bare minimum, and I had to like pull no shortcuts in like, you know, pull no shortcuts in completing the game, it means that this would be extraordinarily difficult for the average player to complete. Right? But if it turns out that there can be quite a bit of wastage of bullets, and so on, and I can still make it to the end before, like, you know, make it to the end of the game without having to reach level 41, despite some wastage, then that means that this challenge is a lot more approachable to the average player. Because while most of the strats I use here are easy enough, I guess some of them do require a lot of patience. Yeah, so there, what I do is I just let the baseball bat guy get close enough to me to get as much accuracy as possible on his head, and then attempt a shot. And then he ends up with a bit left, which Valentine can deal with. But yeah, so that would be a thing. Yeah, that's just a regular Triggerman. And I suppose part of the strategy to get the absolute bare minimum, no, if completing the game using only the starting bullets was such that the starting number of bullets is the absolute minimum number, and so if you miss any shot, or if any shot doesn't do the absolute max damage that it can possibly do, that I can't then complete the game before level 41. You know, if it were that tight, one of the necessary strategies to do would basically involve once, you know, I guess one thing it would involve not getting those chems from that place, because that'd save like 5-6 bullets. But once this thing is started, this quest, like entering the place, you'd basically have to go from here to the end of the game without saving or sleeping. You know, so that you get the most that you can get out of the adrenaline effect. Right, so basically, yeah, you have to go from here to the end of the game in one go, because the exit save feature doesn't really work. But yeah, that would be one consequence. You have to go through the whole game without saving. Oh hey, an enraging sledgehammer. Though it isn't actually worth it. And then here, all the killing for this quest is over. With a speech check, you can avoid attacking the two trigger men, Darla and Skinny Malone, at the other end of that door over there. So that's that. But yeah, so if you know, if there's leeway by which you can like not use extreme strats, or leeway so that you are allowed to save the game, leeway so that you can miss a couple of bullets here and there, leeway such that you can use VATS and miss shots in VATS, or have shots vanish, or any of the above. If you have that sort of leeway, then this challenge becomes extremely more approachable.
Oh yeah? Then what's this lead? Darla, listen to me.
Um,
Home, Skinny, where it should have been all this time.
but yeah, so all you have to do here is just let the talking finish and then run out before anybody, before Nick tries to attack the other enemies. But I think they might have also patched the game so that, you know, if you leave... Okay, those triggermen aren't actually aggro at me, but they're aggro on Nick. But it turns out that if I just walk out here, they'll just... Nick will just follow me out, and, you know, he won't actually lead any other enemies out with me. Yeah, so he's just out there, and that's that. All that's left is to head back to Dum City and probably do the whole key thing, maybe. But yeah, so this has been the rescuing Nick with only the alien blaster. And I guess with the 7 or so minutes left, the only thing to talk about is that you might have noticed that there was a few places where where the video suddenly skips. Like for example, I'll be at one spot and then suddenly I'll be like 50 or so meters ahead, as though I just cut out like 10 seconds of footage or something. That's not actually my doing. I'm not like cutting out random bits of footage. As best I can tell, that's just an issue with the software that the PS4 devs wrote to facilitate recording. But yeah, so I just all I do here is I make all the legs calibrated. I do some other mods on the stuff. And that just maxes out the armor, I guess. Oh yeah, so I do get the key. Which is, you know, in this challenge, getting the key is trivial. You just pass some speech checks, I guess. Yeah, so I guess one thing I could do is I don't actually have the ability to get my perk list up now, but if I have the time, or if I remember, I could think about designing a like a perk list that maximizes the damage this character does and avoids perks that don't do that or don't affect ammo or stuff, such as avoiding armorer, avoiding like Lone Wanderer, avoiding Aqua Girl, avoiding maybe or maybe not avoiding Idiot Savants, but like avoiding Scrounger. And so using all those freed up points so that I can get extra, like, points into the luck perks that increase critical damage and increase the number of criticals that I can use. And so, while you would take more damage, you would also be able to more easily achieve a Alien Blast only run. But yeah, I guess that's that. All that's left is to get a... No, I do got the key. Yes, all that's left is bartering with this guy, finishing the armor. And yeah, so this armor here was intended to carry me from the basically the start of the game until until the X01, but it actually well you'll see. Oh yeah, and here I actually I just put some mods onto the thing. Primarily the sights, which is helpful, if you're going for a thing. But like, one thing that occurs to me is that I don't think there's, well, to my knowledge, I don't think there's any mods. Oh, well, I guess I better end the episode now because it's basically the end. Well, I guess that's that. You'll not hear me talk about what I was thinking, but yeah, I guess that's that. Thanks for watching. And tomorrow's episode will be past me. You know, the previous me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you then. Bye bye.